Let's start with the truth. You feel a profound and aching loneliness, even when you are not alone. You have followed the rules, swiped through the endless gallery of smiling faces, and endured the sterile interviews we now call dates. You have felt the intoxicating rush of a new connection, the hope that this time, finally, this is the one. And you have felt the familiar gutting crash, when the illusion shatters, when the ghosting begins, when the perfect projection reveals a flawed and difficult human being. You ask yourself the same questions on a torturous loop. What is wrong with me? Am I not attractive enough, interesting enough, successful enough? You look at the curated joy on social media, the saccharine engagement announcements, the anniversary posts, and a quiet poison seeps into your soul. You believe you are failing at the most fundamental human experience. This feeling, this pain, is real. But your diagnosis is wrong. This is not a personal failure. It is a symptom. It is a warning sign, a fever telling you that the body of our culture is sick. You see, it's not that you have a problem finding love, it's that you have been programmed to misunderstand what love even is. The central lie of our age, whispered to you from your first fairy tale and screamed at you by every romantic comedy, is this: the right person will complete you. The right person will solve your problems, heal your wounds, and fill the emptiness inside you. They are a product to be acquired, a prize to be won. And this lie, this devastatingly effective deception, is the source of your misery. Consider this: rates of reported loneliness have skyrocketed in an age of unprecedented digital connection. We have more tools than ever to find a partner. Yet we feel more isolated than any generation before us. This is not a paradox. It is the engineered result of the system. You have been given a map to a treasure that does not exist. So I ask you, what if the map itself is the trap? What if the search for a person to complete you is the very thing ensuring you remain forever broken? Long before your screen became a portal to romantic disappointment, a prophet was sounding the alarm. His name was Erich Fromm, a philosopher and psychoanalyst who watched the rise of modern capitalism and saw the profound threat it posed to the human heart. He was not a detached academic. He was a doctor diagnosing a sickness he saw spreading through the soul of society. He saw you. He saw your pain, your endless search, and he knew exactly why it was happening. Fromm's diagnosis, laid out in his masterwork, The Art of Loving, is a shattering indictment of our entire approach to relationships. The fundamental error, he warned, is that we treat love as an object, a thing to be received. We are obsessed with the problem of being loved, of making ourselves lovable. We polish our profiles, our bodies, our careers, our personalities, all to become a more desirable product on the romantic marketplace. We are consumed with being the object of affection, not with our own capacity to love. This is the core of the lie. You think your problem is finding the right object of your affection. Fromm screams across the decades, that's not the problem. The problem is that you have not practiced the art of loving itself. You expect to be a virtuoso without ever touching the instrument. You want the masterpiece without the struggle, the mess, and the relentless practice. You have confused the feeling of falling in love, that temporary collapse of ego in the face of intoxicating novelty, with the sustained act of standing in love. Fromm argued that love is an art, exactly like the art of medicine or engineering or music. And like any art, it requires two things: mastery of the theory and mastery of the practice. What theory have you studied besides the fairy tales of Hollywood? What practice have you engaged in besides the clumsy mechanics of courtship? The practice of love, Fromm insists, is built on a foundation of 4 essential disciplines, none of which our society encourages. The first is discipline. Not the grim, joyless discipline of the office, but the focused intention of the artist. To practice love, you must practice it daily, in small ways. In moments of irritation, in moments of boredom, it means choosing to be kind when you feel like being cruel. It means showing up when you would rather withdraw. It is the discipline of not letting your mood dictate your commitment. Modern life, with its emphasis on fleeting moods and instant gratification, is a war against this kind of discipline. The second is concentration. Look at your life. You live in a state of perpetual distraction, your attention shattered into 1,000 pieces by notifications, feeds, and the endless hum of ambient anxiety. Love, true love, requires the ability to be fully present with another person, to listen not just to their words, but to their silences, to put down your phone, to turn off the television, to quiet the noise in your own head and truly see the person in front of you. This is a superpower in our fractured world. How often are you truly with someone? Or are you simply waiting for your turn to speak, crafting your response, checking them against your internal list of requirements? Concentration in love means being able to be alone with yourself. If you cannot tolerate your own company, you will only ever use another person as an escape from your own inner void. You are not connecting with them. You are using them as a shield against yourself. This is not love. It is a hostage situation. The third is patience, another virtue our society has systematically dismantled. You expect instant replies, next-day delivery, immediate results. You bring this toxic impatience into your relationships. You want deep intimacy on the third date. You want conflicts resolved in a single conversation. You want a person to shed their lifelong defense mechanisms because you have decided you are ready for their vulnerability. This is not how human beings work. People, like gardens, grow slowly, unpredictably, and require immense patience. You bail at the first sign of trouble, the first major disagreement, the first revelation of a truly difficult flaw, the first period of boredom. You have been taught that these are signs you have chosen the wrong person. Fromm would tell you, this is a lie. These are not signs of failure. They are the moments the real work of love begins. Patience is the willingness to stay in the room when things get difficult, to understand that growth is not a linear process, and to give another person the space to be messily, imperfectly human. The fourth, and most crucial, is faith. Not religious faith, but faith in the potential of the other person and in your own capacity to love. It is the courage to trust in the core of another, even when their behavior on the surface is frustrating or hurtful. It is faith that their defenses, their anger, their fear are not the totality of who they are. It is the faith required to be vulnerable, to show your own flawed core, trusting that it will be held with care. This is a radical act in a cynical world. Discipline, concentration, patience, faith. This is the practice. This is the art. Your search for a perfect partner is destroying your life because it is a distraction from the real work. The real work is not finding the one. It is becoming one who is capable of love. The tragic irony is that you cannot receive what you are not capable of giving. The love you crave will forever elude you as long as you remain an unskilled consumer, demanding a masterpiece you have not learned how to create or even appreciate. But the lie goes even deeper than that. This consumer model of love, this demand for a perfect product, did not emerge from a vacuum. It was grafted onto an older, more seductive, and perhaps even more dangerous framework. To truly understand the prison you are in, we must look at the ghost that haunts every modern relationship. We must diagnose the beautiful poison of romanticism. Here, our guide is the philosopher Alain de Botton, a man who has meticulously dissected the unspoken assumptions that govern our hearts. He warns that we are all, whether we know it or not, disciples of a movement from the late 18th century. Romanticism was not just about poetry and windswept landscapes, it was a revolution in emotion that installed a new set of catastrophic expectations about love. Expectations that set you up for guaranteed failure. The first tenet of this romantic tyranny is the belief that the right partner will complete you. We have already seen how this fuels consumerism, but romanticism gives it a mystical, spiritual gloss. This isn't just about solving problems, it's about finding your other half, your twin flame. This idea suggests you are inherently incomplete, a half-person wandering the earth. It is a deeply disempowering belief that creates a desperate, needy search for salvation in another human being. You are not a half. You are a whole. To place the responsibility for your wholeness onto another person is not love. It is the most profound act of emotional outsourcing. It is a burden no human being can possibly bear, and it dooms any relationship from the start. The moment your chosen savior reveals themselves to be a flawed, struggling person like you, the romantic spell is broken. You do not see this as a normal part of love, you see it as a betrayal of the romantic promise. And so you leave, still searching. The second romantic lie is that love is a feeling, an overwhelming intuition. You are taught to trust your gut, to wait for a lightning bolt. If you don't feel an immediate earth-shattering connection, you move on. Romanticism tells us that this initial feeling is the only reliable guide to a lifelong partnership. This is madness. That initial feeling, what we call chemistry, is often just the triggering of familiar childhood patterns. It is not a guide to happiness. It is often a map back to your original wounds. You might feel intense chemistry with someone who is emotionally unavailable because they mirror a aren't who was. You might feel a powerful pull towards someone chaotic because you grew up in chaos, and it feels like home. The romantic veneration of intuition is a trap. It prioritizes a mysterious feeling over a sober assessment of character, values, and kindness. It is an excuse to avoid the difficult, rational work of choosing a partner wisely. The third and most insidious romantic lie is that true love should be free of conflict. The soulmate, we are told, understands us without us needing to speak. They will anticipate our needs, share all our tastes, and never fundamentally disagree with us. This is a fantasy fit for children, yet it is the unspoken benchmark against which you measure your real relationships. When the first major argument erupts, you don't think, "We need to learn how to communicate." You think, "This must not be the one." This fear of conflict means you avoid the very conversations that build true intimacy. You walk on eggshells. You swallow your needs. You resent your partner for not being a mind reader. Love is not the absence of conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict with grace and repair the connection afterward. A good relationship is not one without arguments. It is one where arguments lead to greater understanding, not to the conclusion that a fatal error in selection has been made. These romantic ideals, packaged and sold to you by movies, songs, and now social media, are not just harmless fantasies. They are instruments of control. They keep you in a state of perpetual adolescence, always waiting for a magical solution to the hard work of living. They keep you dissatisfied, anxious, and consuming dating apps, consuming self-help books, consuming new experiences, always hoping the next purchase will be the one that finally makes you whole. Do you see the trap now? Fromm shows you that you are treating love as a consumer product. De Botton shows you that the product you are looking for is a romantic fantasy that can never exist. You are a shopper looking for a unicorn. The search itself, the constant cycle of hope and disappointment, becomes your life. This is not a glitch in the system. This is the system, working perfectly to keep you dependent and searching. Your loneliness is profitable. So you have seen through the lie. You understand that your pain is not a personal failure but a programmed outcome. You see the mechanics of the consumer model and the ghosts of romanticism that haunt you. The prison door is open. What now? How do you walk out? This is not about finding a new strategy or a better dating app. This is about a revolution in your very being. The antidote is to stop being a consumer of love and to start being a co-creator of it. To co-create love is to abandon the idea of completion. It is to accept that you are a whole, sovereign individual and that your partner is too. The goal is not to merge into one amorphous blob of romantic fantasy. The goal is for two whole people to stand side by side, facing forward in the same direction, committed to building something together. A life, a family, a project, a future. Love is not something you find and possess. It is something you actively and continuously build. This means you must shift your focus entirely. Stop asking, "What can this person do for me?" Stop asking, "Do they complete my checklist?" Instead, start asking terrifyingly different questions. What can we build together? Do our values align for a shared project? Do we have the shared discipline to weather the storms that will inevitably come? Are we both committed to learning the art of loving, even when it is difficult and unromantic? Co-creation requires you to embrace imperfection, both in yourself and in your partner. The romantic consumer is a perfectionist, always looking for a flaw, a reason to return the product. The co-creator is an artist who sees flaws not as deal breakers but as character, as raw material. Your partner's anxieties, their strange habits, their difficult past, these are not bugs in the system. They are part of the very fabric you have chosen to work with. Can you love them not in spite of these things but with them? Think of it this way. The consumer of love is like a tourist who visits a foreign city. They stay in a nice hotel, take pictures of the famous monuments, and complain that things are not like they are at home. They consume the experience and leave. The co-creator of love is like someone who moves to that city. They learn the language, navigate the confusing back streets, build relationships with the locals, and endure the frustrations. They are not consuming a place, they are building a life there. The struggle is part of the meaning. But this path demands the one thing the lie is designed to strip from you: inner sovereignty. You cannot co-create if you are a void waiting to be filled. The foundation of it all, the secret that Fromm knew so well, is that the capacity to love another is utterly dependent on your capacity to love yourself. Not in a narcissistic, self-helpy way, but in a profound sense of self-possession and respect. You must learn to practice the art of loving on yourself first. You must apply discipline, concentration, patience, and faith to your own growth. You must learn to be alone without being lonely. You must develop your own center, your own values, your own meaning, so that you bring a full cup to the table, not an empty one. You are not looking for someone to save you from yourself. You are looking for a worthy partner with whom to share the fruits of your own inner work. This is the uncomfortable truth. The quality of your love life will never exceed the quality of your relationship with yourself. The search for the perfect partner is a frantic, externalized distraction from the terrifying, essential, and liberating work of becoming a whole person. When you no longer need another person to complete you, you are finally free to love them for who they are, not for what they do for you. So here is the choice, laid bare. The world will not save you. The system benefits from your slumber, from your endless hopeful swiping. The lie is comfortable. The fantasy of the soulmate is a sweet poison that keeps you weak and wanting. It absolves you of the awesome responsibility of building your own soul. The path of the Creator is hard. It is a path of self-confrontation, of discipline, of courage. You can continue to be a consumer, a judge, a passive spectator in the Colosseum of romance, forever giving a thumbs up or thumbs down to the next candidate, forever feeling empty even when you win. Or you can pick up the tools. You can start the slow, difficult, and sacred work of becoming an artist of love. An artist whose first and greatest creation is a strong and sovereign self. Do not seek a partner to be the light of your life. Become the light of your own life. Then, you may find another self-sustaining sun, and together you can create a galaxy. The love you build from a place of wholeness will be a monument to your freedom. The love you grasp at from a place of emptiness will be the walls of your most comfortable prison. The choice is yours. It has always been yours. You. This is the end of the lie.